Well, folks, the turret on this vehicle is massive. It is wide, it is thick at about 270 millimeters, but take a look at the turret ring going all the way around the chassis, and somehow this vehicle is categorized as a medium tank. That doesn't make sense to me, but easily be a heavy to my point of view. Alright folks, let's take a look at the DZT-159 Premium Tier 9 Chinese medium tank. It's a large caliber gun and a massive turret on a elongated, sort of a WZ-121 chassis with the T-shaped cross-section. It is a little bit different than the WZ-120 or 121B or even the T-34-3s, but it has rocket boosters in the back, more charges but not as long of a boost compared to the heavy tanks, so easily for ramming in some situations, but 7 charges at 5 seconds per charge, so more of a sprint compared to the marathon that's on the heavy tank, even though it's not that fast. But the flat, thick turret front could be susceptible to gold shell, but then again it is pretty thick and slope backwards to the sides. Iconic commander cupola and loader cupola weak spots on top. This turret also kind of looks like a squished but larger BZ-68's turret, right? But it's also a rocket heavy tank as well. There might be space armor right here for the toolbox. We'll have to see. But it is a medium tank with rocket boosters, so pretty neat. But most of the Chinese rocket booster tanks are okay at best, other than, you know, the 176 and maybe the 68. But this could be interesting of a lighter heavy tank to play with, right? Might be. It is a large caliber gun, but better performance in terms of gun depression compared to the WZ-120, obviously. 7 degrees compared to like 3 or 3.5. It is pretty crap on the actual tech tree Chinese medium tank, but yeah, it's a large vehicle. Dushka on top, spare ammo boxes for the Dushka. But let's take a look at the stats. It is a 122, same alpha, same kind of penetration for the 120 on the WZ-120, or 122 on the WZ-120. But yeah, gold shell is high explosive in the tank. High explosive is workable. They nerf the DPM slightly, but it's still about 2,300 or so. Shell velocity is alright. Accuracy, aim time is still kind of crap, but then again, the same applies to large caliber guns for medium tanks, right? 7 degrees gun depression, 18 elevation, a lot better than the WZ-120. 40 rounds. They nerfed the dispersion while moving the hull and traversing, as well as the turret, but that's not bad for turret traverse dispersion. That is still better than the T-34D, or a lot better than the T-54D, and the Object 590, so the recent Tier 9 premiums. So it's still not great, but the T-54D is 0.22 and the Object 590 is 0.25, so still okay-ish but not great. Don't shoot while moving practically, but crew of 4 fits all the WZ-120s and 121s. Top speed of 40. Horsepower per ton ratio is slower than about 15 or 16 on the Tier 9 tech tree version, but yeah, you want to put a turbocharger on this vehicle if you could, but debatable. They nerfed the turret traverse slightly, and hull traverse is alright. Turret traverse is more like a heavy. They nerfed the health to 1650. Workable, still fine, but yeah, you're mostly wiggling about the turret and preventing shots to the cupola, so don't have that much health to go around. But 270 for the turret front, 110 for the sides, 120 for the hull front, 80 for the sides. They nerfed the view range by 10 meters, but it does feel like a heavy tank, but It has the equipment slot loadout for mediums. Heavy tanks have survivability for the first slot compared to mobility for mediums, but DPM is about 2,300 or so. Now they nerfed it slightly, but aim time accuracy did not get nerfed, so it's alright. It is still comparable to the tech tree WZ-120, but oh well, I have a good crew and vents, so that's out of the question. So it's about the same, right? Close. Still has better pin at 260 compared to 250 with the same alpha. And reload time, I have a rammer, but then again, that's a premium, so close. I would say close. They nerfed the health, and mobility wise, 7 charges of the rocket boosters, each lasting 5 seconds. So mostly for ramming. Top speed while boosting is 68, which is not bad, and weighs about 41 tons, even though it doesn't look like it. That looks like a 60-ton vehicle, or at least 50, like with the 5A WZ-111, but 40 kilometers per hour top speed might be kinda if. This thing has 60 without the turbocharger, even though reaching it is kinda if with only about 16 horsepower per ton ratio. Granted, it's more of a medium tank with about 37 tons. That feels heavy tank. That really does feel like a slow heavy tank. I think the BZ-68 has 35 kilometers per hour top speed with about 13 horsepower per ton ratio. 32 with about 13 or so, but I don't have a turbocharger on this thing. Also, this thing weighs about 60-ish tons. Surprisingly, doesn't look like it, right? Doesn't really look like it. It looks about the same size, just longer. The turret looks about the same. Yeah, just the chassis, but all right. It's a big ass vehicle. 6.61% camouflage rating. Oh, it's about the same as this thing. I have a camo train on the gunner, but that is very niche. So yeah, it's about the same camo as a BZ-68. Noticeably the same size too, so makes sense. But yeah, view range got nerfed by 10, and we have to see the actual armor profile. But I believe the cupola is more like the WZ-111s. Yeah, it's really like these cupolas. So yeah, sticking out the top of the turret. Can I really use the gun depression without wiggling about, preventing shots to the cupolas? But it's a heavy tank. It's not medium. We have only like 2 assault medium tanks at tier 9. That is the E50 and the 430, I believe. Tier 9 medium tanks. Yep, E50 and 430. So this thing weighs like 60-ish tons, right? 62, surprisingly. So it's a pretty hefty engine powered. 16, not bad. But top speed is 60 without the turbocharger. So ramming with this thing is debatable, but only 41 tons. It's mostly for getting into places quickly, right? 5 charges or 5 seconds of the boost with 7 charges. Yeah. We have to see the actual armor, but does it perform that well? It is a premium, granted. And I've been playing the T-54D. I finished it. Finished the field mods, so technically not really needing to play it as often. But the bad part about this gun on the L7 copy is dispersions suck while traversing and moving the hull. So you're more of a sniping medium tank, but this is somehow categorized as versatile for some reason. But yeah, 0.2 dispersion while traversing the hull and moving is not great, especially for a aggressive combat assault medium tank, but it is a premium still. So I don't know, but you obviously want a rammer on this thing. Rammer is a must to help out with the DPM, but Do you want turbocharger or do you want vents? I have vents on my 𝗗𝗭𝟧-120 since accuracy and aim time is kind of if, but been playing it for a long while. I would have put a vertical stabilizer instead, but yeah, this gun is trollish sometimes. But let's see, 𝗗𝗧-120, 0.14, that's actually not half bad. That's actually pretty good. I haven't played it in a long while, like 4+ years, so DPM is also not bad. Huh, has more health too, the same view range, and better top speed, obviously. But oh, you're trading a lot for that premium tank status, right? You're trading a lot. It has less health now. They could rebuff it later on, but 0.2 dispersion, very comparable to something out of this. Yeah, 0.22. Compare this with the 590. The 590 pisses me off. 0.25. Yeah, it pisses me off. Don't shoot while moving. Also, the base accuracy, kind of if, and DPM are both. So mobility is closer to the T-54D with the caveat of rocket boosters to boot, but I don't know. I mean, it's certainly better than 𝗗𝗧-114 for sure. So you definitely want rammer. Rammer is a must. Rammer really helps out. Yeah, rammer. Perhaps vertical stabilizer. Yeah, vertical stabilizer might be the second slot. Might be optics if you're feeling less aggressive of a playstyle, more hanging out in the back. But we'll have to see the actual hull armor to see how good that is, and if there's space armor to the sides. But you could put vents for the first slot to help out with the accuracy and the aim time. Both are kind of if, right? Kind of crap. So yeah, vents, vertical stabilizer, and rammer likely the loadout for this vehicle. If you're feeling cheeky, replace the vents with turbocharger. So turbocharger, vertical stabilizer, and rammer. Even more cheeky is turbocharger, optics, and rammer, but that is having to deal with the dispersion while moving. So that is some sort of disciplinary, well, not shooting while moving thing, I guess. Ugh. Alright, field mods. So we're using the E50 for assault at tier 9. Only difference is the final one right here, but first one is better traverse or penalty to your damaged gun and ammo rack. I would say better traverse, right? Especially for the turret. Better traverse. Just don't get hit. If you do get hit, quickly use your repair kit to help out with the ammo rack and just pull back. Be less aggressive once you get hit, but better traverse. Dispersion while moving or aim circle size. So it's accuracy or dispersion while moving. Accuracy is already crap, right? Accuracy is 0.38 for the large caliber gun, but 0.2 for dispersion. I would say better dispersion, right? Better dispersion. It's a Grow 15 effect. You can have all the accuracy in the world, but if you move the gun, you'll throw off the shot. So I would say better dispersion. Yeah, better dispersion. Optics for camo, that's a camo thing, or reverse speed. You have no camo. Similar to the E50, you have no, even with the crap, I have a little bit better camo. So yeah, it's a heavy tank. Don't need the camo. Go with better reverse speed, getting out of hairy situations. This thing has no camo. Oh god, E50 already has garbage camo. This thing is also pretty crap, even worse. Yeah, better reverse speed. And finally, aim speed or vehicle hit points. Vehicle hit point doesn't seem that great, only 3%. It's like not even 100. It's about 70-ish or so. It's actually about 50. So I put better health, even though it doesn't matter for the E50. E50 already has good aim time already, so I was like, a few 50 more health, doesn't matter much. But for this vehicle, I would say better aim time. Definitely better aim time. And aim time is kind of more important on this vehicle. How the hell do I feel about this thing? It's a heavy tank. It's a heavy. It's not a medium. You play this thing like a BZ-68 practically, but let's compare this thing to the BZ-68. Speaking of the devil, I like my BZ-68 mostly because the turret is pretty strong, right? The turret armor has a very small commander cupola. Very small. Almost non-existent on top, especially when you're gun depressed at 8 degrees. Yeah, 8 degrees of gun depression. So playing with this vehicle feels fun. Playing with something of a WZ-111 with 2 tumor on top is not as fun, but this thing has the punching power of the 130, so that applies, I guess. More alpha to boot, or drawback in compensation with the armor, but yeah, I would definitely play this vehicle over the DZT 159. Turret front is thick, 280, but yeah, it's kind of also the same shape too, just larger and longer, or latitude wise thicker. But yeah, if it doesn't have the cupola, it will be a pretty good vehicle. But otherwise, how does the upper plate hold up? It doesn't look that well sloped, right? It's only 120, but this is 120. That is a well sloped 120 upper plate. So that is effectively about 260 or so. That is a very good upper plate, even though it's not as thick. But armor wise, it's more like a T-34. So more like a sloping on a T-34-3. Yeah, more like that, practically. 120? 100. Well, 100 also for the WZ-120. 120 for the 121. Let's see the armor on this thing. It's not great. By all means, it's not great. Also the T-shaped cross-section, so effectively it's about 200 millimeters. Not that much. So sloping is definitely not as good as the BZ-68. So you're mostly turret armor and hull down with 7 degrees of gun depression. They buff it to 5. Originally this was 3.5, and the tier 9 was like 3. But yeah, 7 feels a lot better than 3, obviously. Downside to it is you're slower than this thing, and with less DPM and less health too. And it feels good. I mean, it feels decent. It still feels better than 590. God, I hated that vehicle. Auto reloader with less penetration, and sometimes you'll miss all the shots. You only hit sometime. So god damn, that vehicle pisses me off. The gun depression is alright, but aim time on this gun sucks. Dispersion on this gun sucks. DPM on this gun sucks. So yeah, definitely it will feel better than this vehicle. But the tumor is kind of about the same size or so. Okay. This thing has better horsepower per ton ratio. So yeah, it feels like the same ballpark for tier 9 vehicles. Tier 9 premium anyways. They're not too crazy. Not even busted as BZ-176 in a sense, but feels fair. I would say 5.5, right? 5.5 feels fine. Maybe a, nah, that's not a 6. Doesn't have the DPM or the mobility to be a 6. I say 5.5. Well, there you go, folks. The DZT 159, practically a heavy tank. You can be a heavy all you want. You can be a medium tank all you want. It's a heavy, right? No way getting around it. It's a big ass turret. Look at the size of this turret. Holy shit. So as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.